We're starting off laying down. Close your eyes. Allow your back body to smoosh onto the floor. Maybe bend your elbows here to let your chest open up a little more. And maybe there's a bend in the knees to help with your low back. Who knows? Okay, you can straighten the legs, but I find after a long day of doing things, a little bend in the knees helps to allow the low back to neutralize. And then over time, I can straighten more. But fidget yourself into your most comfy laying down shape. Close your eyes. Feel the big expansiveness of your front body and your back body as you inhale. Everything moving outward from your spine. And with the exhale, everything pulls inward towards your spine. Everything compresses the belly, the rib cage. And start to really cultivate that roaring sound in your ears, that roar of the breath. Slow the breath down even more with each round. And hopefully you can become aware of some tension draining out of your body into the floor. Maybe tension from your jaw or shoulders or hips, who knows? And just give yourself permission to let go with each breath. A little more. Maybe you find some secret tension that was hiding in your shoulder that you can suddenly let go of. And let's bring in a little twist here. So keep your upper body really relaxed. And bend your knees. We'll take some windshield wipers. So bring the feet in close to your hips and then far away from each other. And you can knock them side to side. So at first, maybe a little passive. Maybe eventually you activate the knees down. Might get some pops in your hips and your low back. And that's good. You're working out some synovial fluid. Readjusting and balancing things in there, in the joints. Okay, next time the knees fall to the right, let's pause and then stack your knees over there on the right. And then even stack your hands and we'll find a little sandwich, a little stacked sandwich shape here. So everything's stacked nice and neat. Ankles, knees, hips, shoulders, and hands. Left over right. And then, of course, once we've arranged ourselves this way, we need to be sure that we still have a long neutral spine. So you probably notice that your right side tends to sag downward, and that takes us out of a neutral spine. So lift the right side up, lengthen the spine, and now we're ready to twist. So left fingers on the floor, make a big half circle over your head. Big, big, big as you inhale. Open up your chest. And exhale, bring it back around. Let's do that a few more times. Inhale, half circle over your head. Exhale, bring it back. So hopefully you're able to close your eyes and do this. And I want you to focus with each inhale on expanding all the space in your chest. So with each inhale, you can sweep your arms open and make your chest a little bigger than last time. Spacious across the front of your shoulders. Using your strong back body to free up that tense front body. We get so tense in the front. Next time you open up, let's hold it there and just enjoy. Arms are wide. Okay, once you're here, I want you to pick up your shoulder blades and place them down so that the twist feels better. Just find a little bit more length in your spine. Press your shoulder blades and your arms into the floor and look to the left. Let's take 3 or 4 or 5 more long, slow breaths here. Push your arms into the floor as you lift that chest. So I want you to find a lot of twist, a lot of expansion and length. And one more inhale, pressing the arms down, lifting the chest. One more exhale, pulling the shoulder blades down into the floor. Okay, let's bring the knees through center. You can just rock yourself through and then drop your knees to the left. And here we go to a left facing sandwich shape. I'll spin around to face you. So set yourself up, stack everything nice and neat, create some nice length in your spine, and then let's neutralize the spine by lifting the left side. So keeping that length, keeping as much as we can, neutral. Right fingertips, now we'll draw the half circle overhead. So right arm reaching to the right at the top of your inhale. Your chest is so big, and with your exhale, bring it back. Keep going just like this. Maybe 4 more times, long and slow. And you can make this really easy and smooth and passive, or you could activate it a little bit and actively press the arms into the floor. So kind of interpret where you are in your practice today, what you're looking for. In general, the more you press against the floor, the more your chest will open up. So speaking of chest opening up, reach to the right and hold and breathe. Maybe pick up your upper body and replace your shoulder blades in a better twist. Push your hands down, push your arms down, and lift your chest. Breathe. Long and slow. As you are ready, bring the legs back in. All right, if you tuck your hands behind your knees here, we can rock it up to a seat. So come on up. And let's find a nice upright seat with the right leg out straight and long. And we'll pull the left foot in. You can step on your right inner thigh. Sit up nice and tall. You can even use your hands beside you. And if you feel tension in the back of your right leg, you can bend the knee. Okay? Even if you can fully extend it, put a micro bend in your knee and see if you can kick down into the right heel a little bit. So I want you to be activating the back of the leg while we're in this posture. So a little kick down, but also activate the top of the leg by pulling your kneecap up towards your hips and flexing your foot. So back of the leg, top of the leg, nice and strong. Drop your fingers, one hand on either side of that right leg. And let's make a really long spine. And we're going to take maybe 4 or 5 long, slow breaths to lengthen the spine with each inhale. Move the heart forward with your exhales. So we're gradually working our way down. We're not in any kind of hurry. Okay. Long spine on the inhale. When each exhale, you move that heart further forward. Maybe it's 1 millimeter. Okay. Keep breathing. So here's one interesting thing about stretching, which you might find useful in your practice. When you first begin to lengthen any of your muscles, there's an immediate contraction. It's a reflex that protects you, okay, protects your body. However, after about 30 seconds of holding that lengthening, the muscle will begin to lengthen. So you always want to hold any active stretch, right? Never passive stretch. You want to hold any active stretch for about 30 seconds or more. Right, so everything after that 30 seconds is just pure stretch. Maybe one last breath here. Maybe as you kick down into the leg and activate the thigh, you can even rest your forehead on your shin. Okay, it should feel nice in your low back and your outer hip. Okay? Okay, start to walk your hands back up and in. Okay, and then pick up your right knee and point it straight up at the ceiling. Sorry, this is your left knee. Pick up your left knee and point it straight up and use all your arms to just hug that left leg and squeeze it in. Okay, and let's reactivate the right leg. And remember, we're pushing the right leg into the floor. But also push your left foot into the floor. So your legs are not passive here, okay? And you can push as fiercely or as gently as you like. But do push down a little bit into both legs. And with your stability in your strong lower body, resisting the floor, use your right arm around that left leg and find some mobility in the upper body. So reach the left fingers behind you. Push down on the floor so everything on the floor pushes down as you twist. Long spine inhales. Big twist exhales from the belly button up. Maybe to deepen this and to get a really good stretch in the back of your right shoulder, you take the right elbow to the outside of the left knee and press on it. Okay, remember to push down into your legs, push into your feet, push into your legs. One more big breath here. It feels really nice in the shoulders and the low back. And come on out of that. Okay. If you lean back on your hands, you can kick both feet out here, maybe a few windshield wipers, and we'll switch sides and do the other side. Okay, the left leg is the long leg now. The right leg will be the foot that's stepping on the left thigh. So sit up as tall as you can. Okay, we're bending in the left knee, at least a little micro bend. So the back of the leg is activated as you kick down in the left heel. The front of the leg activates as you contract the top of your thigh and try to pull your toes in towards your shin. So active in the leg, pushing down in your strong body, lower body. You can find some more mobility in the upper body, walking the fingers forward. And breathe. Close your eyes, maybe. Okay, activate the legs so we're not stretching passively. Lengthen your spine so you have more space. So keep the shoulders away from your ears. Notice if they tend to come up, just pull them back down. Who knows, maybe for the last couple of breaths, you can just set your forehead on your shin. Push down into your legs. All right, what a nice fold. Should feel really good on the back of your leg and your hamstrings and your low back. Go ahead and press yourself back up. And we'll turn this into a twist, but first, right knee points up. Use all your arms to squeeze the knee in. Nice breath. Okay, so sit up nice and tall. Activate your legs, push them down into the floor as fiercely or gently as your practice invites you to. And then just the left arm holds the right leg, right fingers behind, long spine as you twist. So remember to push into the floor here with your legs. That'll really open the twist up for you. If we stabilize in the lower body, we can mobilize the upper. Maybe you deepen the twist, taking the left elbow outside your right knee. Try that for a few breaths. Remember to push down in your feet. All right, bring that all back into center and get both legs out long this time. Okay, again, if you feel tight, just bend your knees, okay? But now we're really gonna talk directly to your hamstrings. So activate your legs, kick down at the same time as you activate the front of the leg. So kneecaps pulling in, feet flexed, long spine inhale, heart moves forward with each exhale. Take your time. So it really does not matter how far you fold. It's more about a feeling on the backs of your legs. Okay, you want to feel a really nice release in the hamstrings. So keep your tops of your thighs strong to allow the hamstrings to let go. And just keep your shoulders away from your ears. Remember to enjoy yourself and breathe deeply. Remember, we don't really have any expectations in this practice. Okay. Let's take maybe 2 or 3 more long, slow breaths here. So please resist the temptation to grab and pull. Find that fold from within. As you are ready, come back up away from the floor. Roll yourself back up. Okay, and we'll pick up this right foot, okay? Pick up your right foot and bring your right foot to the outside of your left leg. And you're actually just gonna flop the foot out there and get your knees really close to each other. So if this feels okay, then you can bend both legs, but I just want to give you a halfway point before we go to full cow pose or Gomukhasana, because it can be quite intense in your knees and your hips. So if this is intense enough for you, activate your legs, push down into both legs, okay? And just be right here. If it's a little bit exciting and exploratory for you to bring the other foot in, then do that. So Gomukhasana, cow face pose. The idea is we want to get our knees close. So I like to pick myself up, get my knees close, and then sit down into it. And you have the option of having your knees far away from your hips. Your feet far away from your hips, level with your knees, or close to your hips. Close to your hips will be more gentle, okay? Less opening in your outer hip. Take the feet level with your knees, and that's going to be more opening in your hips. Alrighty? So find your spot where you want to be. Get heavy in your legs, so use your legs to resist the floor. And we're going to add an arm partner to this lower body twist, all tangled up. So start with your arms out wide and cross your left elbow over your right. Okay, so we're going to get into your shoulders a little bit here. If you have tight shoulders, just grab them, one in either hand, and hang out right here. Maybe decide if you want to keep going. But if your shoulders are feeling pretty good and you want to get into them, wrap your forearms around each other and try to put your palms together. And then the idea is you want to move your elbows away from your nose. So get those elbows just moving out away from your nose, but level with your nose. So take a moment to kind of arrange yourself and settle into this very twisty posture. Continue to sit up nice and tall. Remember to breathe. Keep the elbows level right there with your nose, and you're almost leaning back away from them as you move them away from you. So find infinite space between your elbows and nose. Use the opportunity this posture creates in the backs of your shoulders to drop the shoulder blades away from your ears as you lift those elbows. So you might use your breath. You might inhale to lift the elbows. Exhale, drop the shoulder blades away from your ears. Okay, really intense opening in the backs of the shoulders. So stick with it. Maybe 3 more breaths here. The whole time you're compressing your legs toward the floor. Hopefully finding some space back there between your shoulders. One more big breath here. Elbows away, shoulders down. And release that, okay? Whew. Drop your fingers out in front. And if it's all right, you might just lean forward a little bit, or maybe really compress your legs down toward the floor. So leaning into that opening, you might come down with your elbows maybe. And you can just drape your upper body over your legs. And the more you activate the legs here, the more release will be available in that outer hip of both sides. Okay, peel yourself up out of this extremely melty posture. And maybe just lean back on your hands and slowly make your legs come out front again, okay? Ooh. So can we just switch sides now? Let's just do that on the other side. So legs are out long, and you can just start by picking up your left foot and crossing your left leg over your right so that your knees are close. So your gentle option is to just stay right here with only one leg bent. And this is pretty much the same idea, right? But if you just want a little more, bend the right knee also. Bring the right foot in. And then decide whether you want your feet close to you for a more gentle Gomukhasana or level with your knees for more work in your outer hips. Settle in, okay? Might be totally different from the other side. And then once you've got some nice activity in your legs, you're actively pressing down into both knees. You can start to arrange the upper body too. So we'll get the right elbow crossing over the left. So we're doing opposite from the knees. And you can either grab your shoulders or braid your forearms. Okay, either way is good because you've still got your elbows out there either way. So start to increase the distance between your elbows and your nose. At the same time, you're thinking of lifting your elbows and dropping your shoulder blades. Use your breath here to the best of your ability. Breathe extra space back into your ribs. Maybe 3 more breaths here, just working on opening up that shoulder space. Good stuff. All right, maybe 1 more big breath here. The elbows are high, the shoulders are low, and you're almost leaning back away from all that. Okay, melt your arms out of that, and then fingertips down in front. We can start to maybe just sit up tall, maybe lean forward, or maybe start to round your upper body over your legs. So continue to activate your legs. Remember, they're not passive, they're actively pushing down. Take a few more breaths here. Really talking to that outer hip. And then peel yourself up out of here. Both feet out in front of you. You can kick it out and have a few more windshield wipers here. So hopefully feeling really good in your hips and low back right now. Shoulders, we released a lot of tension around the neck and shoulders. Good work. I want to get us more into the fronts of the shoulders. So for that, I'm going to have you roll onto your belly. So come down to your belly here. You can just flip it over. And rest your forehead on the floor. Take your arms out like cactus arms. And then look out to your right arm. Arrange it at just about a right angle, tracking out from your right shoulder. Okay? And look out at your left and make sure that it's the same. Okay, and then using your left fingers on the ground, roll onto your right side so that your hips and your shoulders sort of stack. And decide at this point, this is the time that you want to adjust your right elbow. So if you want to move it up, move it up. If it feels better down, move it down. But find where you want it to be, okay? And then when you're ready to commit, bend the right knee and bring it in. And then I'll spin around to meet you, and we'll see where we can go with this. So hopefully this feels nice in your right shoulder. Okay? So the front of your right shoulder. If you need to back out of it, just roll your chest back toward the floor, and you won't have so much opening in your right shoulder. But if it's feeling pretty good, you can deepen the sensation of opening by fingertips of the left hand pressing down. So you feel you're opening more in that armpit, the front of the shoulder. And remember to resist the floor slightly with your right arm, okay? So the right shoulder is not passive. It is at least a little bit active here. So press into the floor. That's where you're going to get the best release, okay? Maybe that left hand reaches up. Maybe the left hand drops across your back. You can even tuck your left fingers underneath your right side. Try to wiggle them under. Keep breathing here. Maybe 3 more long and very slow breaths. So you can use this posture anytime you feel tight in your chest, okay? Or your shoulders. You can do it standing up against a door frame as well. If you're out and about, don't have time to lay on the floor. So really nice for opening up your chest. As you're ready, We're going to transition through to the other side. So we'll bring this left hand back to the floor if we had it anywhere else. Straighten your legs, and you can roll onto your belly here. And put your left arm back out to a cactus. Look over to the right, and the left fingers can roll you now onto your left side. So you're now on your left side. This is the point where you want to find the perfect angle for your left elbow. Where do you want it to be? And once you're ready to commit, tuck that left knee in. And we're here. Let's breathe. Okay, such a great shoulder stretch, so settle in. And remember, the left arm needs to actively resist the floor while you're here. So the left shoulder is actively stretching. Okay, give yourself time to figure out what you want. And if you want to open up that more in the shoulders, you can reach up with the right arm. You can drop it across your back and even tuck the fingers under your side. Push the floor and breathe. Maybe one more really long, extremely slow breath right here. Start to peel yourself out of it and come back through center. So straighten your legs. Okay, hands under your shoulders here. Come on up to your hands and knees. And then, okay, having done so much shoulder opening, let's take the knees pretty wide and do a puppy pose. So install your hips right in line with your knees. You might tuck your toes or untuck them, it's up to you. But reach your hands out as far as you can take them without moving your hips. Okay, and then just drop your heart. So maybe come up on your fingertips. As you drop your heart, you can kind of find what you need here in your upper body as far as space. But you're letting your heart kind of relax down toward the floor. You might rest your forehead. You might rest your chin. It's really up to you. But think of lifting your belly button in towards your spine so that this expansion doesn't just extend into your low back. We want to extend in that upper back. Maybe one more big breath here in your Anahatasana, open heart pose. And start to peel yourself up and out. Come on up, come on out. Go ahead and sit your hips to one side and we'll come back to a seat with the legs out front this time in a little diamond shape, okay? Okay, and it's Baddha Konasana, so bound angle pose. So we have lots of angles, and then we have the option to bind the feet here. So we're keeping a long spine as much as we can. And you're free to bring your feet closer to you or further away. So kind of find what makes more sense for your body. And then remember that your legs are active. So you're actively pushing them down toward the floor. And it doesn't matter if they actually do go down, but they're moving downward. So activating, please. Okay, and you can start to fold here. So we'll take a few breaths. Your spine is long on the inhale. Think of pulling the heart a little bit forward on the exhale. Okay, and what you want to avoid, however, is actively pulling on your feet if you feel any kind of strain in your low back. So as a matter of fact, you could do this without pulling. It's just an an incidental fact that you're holding your feet. You're not actually pulling. You might come down so low that you want to come to your elbows. Okay, you can start to lengthen your neck here, but keep the shoulders away from the ears. And if you have your feet in the right place, something I think is kind of fun, if they're close to you, you might have to pull them out a little bit, but you have your feet in just the right spot. Sometimes you can allow your forehead to just rest on your feet. But remember to keep pushing the legs down. Resist the floor to release in your legs and your low back. Okay, should be feeling some nice release in your inner hamstrings. You have an inner, middle, and outer hamstring. And as you're ready, walk your hands back up. And from here, let's take the feet out really wide. So straddle it. And really wide doesn't have to be anything crazy. You don't have to crank it. Okay? But just find something to where you are at ease. Okay? You're not stressed. You're still having a good time. And you feel some lengthening on the insides of your thighs. So your middle hamstring to the back of your thigh. And you can flex your feet. You can also point them. You can even floint them, which is when you're flexing your toes but pointing through your feet. But just activate your legs some kind of way because we want to actively push down on the floor here. So take your left hand to your right hip. Grab a hold and inhale to make a long right side. So you're pushing into the right hip as you reach up through the right hand. And with your exhale, you're just going to reach to the left. And it doesn't matter how far you reach, just reach. Really reach, don't just drop. Actively reach. Let's inhale to get back up tall again, pushing into your legs. And exhale again, reach to the left, actively reach. One more time, inhale to get long up top. And exhale, reach it. And let's hold right here, okay? You might hang out with your left elbow on your left thigh. Okay, keep lengthening and pushing down into your legs. You might take the elbow a little bit lower inside your knee. Keep pushing down into your legs. And if everything's going great, you might take left hand to right hip. Keep pushing into your legs, and you can tickle your left toes with your right fingers. So no matter where you are, your legs are still active. You're trying to keep your spine long, even though it's challenging. And remember that space around your ears that we're always looking for. All right, feels nice in that right side, all the way down the low back to the outer hip, not to mention that great straddle stretch. So as you're ready, put your right fingers down and press yourself back up to center. And we'll switch sides so that right hand is coming to the left hip, left arm up. And exhale to reach to the right. So it doesn't matter how far. Don't worry about that. Just push down into your legs. 2 more times just like that, okay? Inhaling back up. Exhale, reach, strong legs. 1 more. Big breath in. Big exhale. Okay, so here's where we hold. Okay, we can rest the right elbow on the right thigh and kind of hang out in a nice little, really open posture. Elbow to the floor maybe. Okay, right hand over to left hip maybe, but resist the floor and lengthen in your spine. Maybe tuggle your toes. So here's a great posture where we can work on finding a balance between ease and effort. because we need to resist a little bit to release sometimes. Okay, that balance, that's what hatha means. The hatha yoga means the sun and the moon, and that balance between effort and ease. Okay, let's come back on up. You can use the left fingers to press yourself back up. Okay, grab both your knees and pick them up and slide them back together. Notice how nice you feel in the legs, the hips. And then you can tuck your hands behind your knees and roll it all the way down. Grab your knees here, pull them in, hug them. Okay, you can kind of massage your low back out on the floor here. And then do your best to really press your shoulder blades into the floor. So spread them down and in, pushing them down. So you're even pressing your tailbone down as if your whole back body, you're trying to smoosh it into the floor. And then from there, see if you could keep that smooshing down back body imprint. And then separate your knees, reach between them, and pull your knees down as you, like you're trying to moosh your knees onto the ground as well. So noticing how that feels in your hips. Decide if you want to keep going. You can walk your hands to your ankles. Keep pulling the legs down. Maybe to the outer foot. And then maybe you start to unfurl your feet away from your glutes and drive those knees downward. Okay, so a happy baby pose. It's a silly posture, so just embrace the silliness of it. And it should feel really nice in your hamstrings, your hips, and your low back. So press the low back down. Maybe experiment with extending a little. Notice how it feels in the backs of your legs. Remember, as you extend, activate. Don't just let the legs be passive here. Maybe one more breath. And then let that go. Release your legs. Find a laying down, resting posture. Just whatever laying down, resting posture calls to you. Breathe. And let go completely. Release all effort. Release all control. Give yourself a little bit of time to just exist and unclench your brain and unclench your soul. Okay, just let your body let go. Let your jaw hang. And think of something really good. Please take as much time as you can resting like this. This is where I'm going to leave you. So keep resting. Thank you so much for joining me.